Wow, that's no good. I mean, it's like what lives in my pocket, right? Paper monster hungry.
I'm hesitant to say if I want to do spoilers for this or not. I'm leaning more towards not. I don't think there's nothing here that what I'm going to say is really stuff that you're not going to see in the trailer anyway. But I also want to wait till we saw what the box office held out. And the movie did okay. It was about 64 million at the box office. And I'm guessing this is encompassing Thursday night to Monday. Because we have Juneteenth now. Now, is Juneteenth as strong of a holiday movie-wise as Memorial Day? I don't know, because it's right in the middle of the month, and Memorial Day is one of those ending weekends. People always have plans. They kind of create a vacation around doing a bunch of different things, and oftentimes that includes watching a movie. So those numbers will vary. Overall, worldwide, it did 138 million. This is just the first week. That's not bad, but everybody's saying, oh, the movie bombed, the movie flopped, and everything like that. We don't know. It's been 1 week. As far as the reviews go, though, everybody seems to like it. There are people that don't like it, obviously, and, no movie is perfect. But if we compare a couple things, we have the Transformers. They opened up, they opened up 25 million. By the end of Monday, they had 66 million. So obviously there's a different type of audience for that, but also Transformers has a history of doing really big in the movie theaters, from all those Michael Bay films. Bumblebee didn't perform as strong in those films because people were kind of like upset about how those films went in terms of story and direction. But people were really excited about this. I heard the reviews were solid. This is a movie I want to watch. I have to watch. Just because I love the Beast Wars cartoon. The Maximals, the Optimus Primal, Cheetor, Rhinox. They didn't include Rat Trap in here. I get it. He's Rat. He's small. I don't think it would work in terms of Transformers. But the fact that we finally got Beast Wars in theaters, or some form of it in theaters, I'm all for it. Now, the big one in comparison that a lot of people are comparing The Flash to, and just in terms of numbers and sheer numbers and everything like that, is Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse did 120 million opening weekend. Yeah, it's a lot. It's probably the biggest opening. It's definitely, from what I hear, the biggest opening for an animated film in that June time slot. And it's probably one of the biggest openings in the box office we had since post-pandemic. So, aside from No Way Home. But that's obviously different, right? Different marketing, different things like that. I feel like the Spider-Man Across the Universe marketing wasn't as big as, like, No Way Home or anything like that. The hype wasn't there. But I saw it, and I thought the movie was pretty great. I say these numbers as a comparison point to Flash. It's in the middle, right? Arguably, people will say that this is a disappointment. This is an indication that how DC is failing at the box office and everything like that. But truth be told, the fact of the matter is, every DC movie right now has a target on its back. No one's gonna be happy with the result. People are always gonna say it's a disappointment and everything like that. People are gonna compare the budget to the cost and the gross and everything like that, right? In terms of indicative of how they're going to treat the movie as a failure or not a failure, right? It's all these different things, and the fact of the matter is, we're not there yet, right? It's not, I don't want to say it's not fair. It's plenty fair to go and critique a DC movie by now, because we've had all these string of disappointments, but this is a weird time. I don't think any studio, right, has had to deal with this unique problem that DC is dealing with, right? Because we know as fans that we're getting a reboot of all these movies, and we've been told that some of these movies that were being seen are going to fit within DCU. Some aren't. Some they're not sure about, and some we just don't know, right? So there's no, what I want to say, the motivation to go to see these movies is not there. We're just confused as fans, right? Do we go rush to see this movie? Do we want to go see it? Because we'd like to know, when we watch these comic book movies, right? The idea of a comic book movie supersedes any other genre because everything matters, right? You can watch action movies, you can watch one-time movies and everything like that, and there's an argument to go see these movies and everything like that. Look, The Little Mermaid, right? You're not going to see The Little Mermaid, hypothetically, if you wanted to go see it, with the idea that you're expecting this to serve into a larger narrative, right? But comic book fans, and most comic book movies, right? We want these characters to coexist together in a larger universe, right? It's not that this movie has to feature everybody in there, but these movies have to fit within a larger world that may down the line intersect at certain points, right? That's why Infinity War and Endgame were what they were. Standalone, they were fine movies, but the reason why these movies hit differently versus other movies is because of the larger narrative beforehand. Over 10 years of movies that culminated in these two films, right? So DC's in that position where it's like, compare this to the Batman, right? Well, we know the Batman exists apart from the DCU, doesn't exist within the DCU. It's not going to intersect with all these characters. The expectation is you just want to see a good Batman film, right? There's no feeling of disconnect if this doesn't fit within a larger overall story. And the numbers do show that. Domestically, it did over 300 million. Internationally, it did over 400 million. And it did 700 million worldwide. Now, the thing is, this was a little bit after we finally started getting to see movies back in theaters. Maybe it didn't have the full strength of the box office that movies now have, because we know that, in 2 weeks it's not going to be on streaming, right? It's not going to be on streaming services or anything like that. So that's different. But The Flash is in a weird place, right? Because The Flash is directly connected to DCEU. There were talks of how it was going to connect over to the DCU. There was no confirmation as to whether or not Ezra Miller was going to continue to be Flash, or how this would lead into Aquaman, if Aquaman's going to be in The Flash. How does Blue Beetle connect to all this? And really what got this movie beyond anything was expectation. And mostly because we didn't know what to expect. Not in terms of story. I think fans, we had an idea of what the story were. But because we have no idea how this fits into larger narrative or in the future of anything, we don't know. And I think that's really what is hurting DC movies at the box office. Not knowing and not being sure. Right? If we had some indication, hey, Ezra is going to be the Flash following, or this is going to lead directly to DCU, or Aquaman's definitely going to be Aquaman in a new DCU, whatever the case may be. We don't know. Right? This is part of the reason why the Superman movie is going to probably succeed more often than not, because of the fact that we know it fits within a larger narrative of what James Gunn is planning on DCU. What do you guys think? Sound off in the comments below. And for my idea on how DC can use Booster Gold in the same way the MCU uses Loki, click here. But for now, and as always, take care and have an awesome day.